Notre Dame Stadium sold out for the 155th consecutive time as the 11th-ranked Fighting Irish host the Boston College Eagles. How quickly the colors of September and October fade to the grays of November. So too the college football season, now entering its final weeks. Today, the pageant that is a Notre Dame home game plays out for the last time this year. And for the seniors, a nostalgic final time to make that pregame walk across campus. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Notre Dame. Tom Hamlin and Pat Hayden ready for a match between two bowl-eligible teams. Notre Dame is 6-2, Boston College 6-3. BC, though, comes in without their starting quarterback, Tim Hasselbeck. He's injured. Brian St. Pierre, his backup, gets the nod.
Yeah, but he's not an inexperienced quarterback. He started a game last year, gets to start today, but he's played in every single game this season. Tom O'Brien, the head coach, had brought him in every game in the second quarter. He's got a very strong arm. He's a very accurate guy, but they are really primarily a running team.
And Notre Dame hoping to win out to become eligible for a BCS Bowl. And one of the reasons they are 6-2 and in a good position is because of their special teams.
You know, their offense has kind of been up and down all year, but the special teams have absolutely been sensational. Both the special teams and in the turnover category. 500-yard differential in the return game. 6 returns for touchdowns, 3 of those on special teams. But look at the last statistic. Only 5 turnovers for Notre Dame this year. That leads the NCAA.
Well, Boston College has a tradition of being a spoiler here at Notre Dame. Last year, when they beat the Irish here at Notre Dame, they hoisted the turf as a trophy. And here's what Irish senior Joey Getherall said about that at the pep rally last night.
I don't think any of our players will ever forget what BC players did last year, how they dug up our turf and held it up like a trophy. Well, tomorrow, they'll get to see our turf again, up real close. And to all you BC hecklers up there, I know you guys all want to be Notre Dame students. So enjoy the visit until the game's over tomorrow.
So no love lost between these two as the Irish get set to take the field. We'll be back for the kickoff after these messages from your local station. Gray skies, 44 degrees, winds 5 to 10 miles an hour for Boston College and Notre Dame. Right now, Jim Gray is with Bob Davie, the Notre Dame head coach.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, we just heard Joey Getherall, coach, talk about how the Notre Dame players were real annoyed with the way Boston College carried on last year when they won here. How much of a motivation has that been?
Well, Jim, what I talked to our players about before the game, I realize this is the last game for the seniors. I realize there's a lot of implications on the outcome of this game, what happens to us down the road. I also understand what happened last year. But I talked to our team about just simplifying things and just play as hard as you can, play as fast as you can, and make it as simple as we can make it right now because we really control the outcome of this game. And just go play. Let's not make it more complicated than it needs to be.
I know you've had a chance to speak to each of the seniors individually. What was your main message to them today?
Enjoy every second of it. And to have a chance to play in this stadium, to coach in this stadium, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it all goes so fast. So for all of us, coaches and players, seniors, underclassmen, enjoy every second of this.
All right, Bob, thank you. We'll talk to you at halftime. Back upstairs to you, Tom.
All right, Jim, our birthday boy. How many is that, Jim?
26.
All right, yeah, that's your story. I understand.
Maybe I'm 27 now, I guess, with the birthday.
Tom O'Brien, the Boston College coach, he's in his 4th season in Chestnut Hill. And all that controversy started last year when some BC fans were at the Notre Dame press conference. They didn't like some things that were said there. O'Brien used it to motivate his team last year, and it becomes a continuing controversy between these two. But Boston College, with their victory here last year, proving they can win at Notre Dame Stadium, just as they did in that great game back in 1993, one of the best college football games ever.
Yeah, and Tom O'Brien's really trying to build a program. They had a good season a year ago, but really interested in building a program where they can win 8 games every year, and those other years maybe get to 9 to 10 games. He recruited some really, we just saw one of them, William Green, #1. Guys, everybody wanted. There's William. We'll see him a lot, over 1,000 yards this year, really as a backup rusher.
There you see Green, top rusher in the Big East. Washington, who gained 1,100 yards last year, been nicked up a bit this year, but he's gained 560. You see a potent running attack behind a big and talented offensive line for the BC Eagles. Notre Dame wins the toss. They defer, and Boston College will receive. Matt McNew will kick it off for Notre Dame. DeJuan Daniels deep for Boston College. Along with J.P. Camella. Camella and Daniels, the deep men. There's a cameraman on the field taking a still shot. Until just now, I thought McNew was maybe going to kick over his head. I wasn't sure. Boston College at 6-3, Notre Dame at 6-2, and McNew puts football underway. Side-winding kick that will go out of bounds, so a break for Boston College to open the game. And they'll line up this way on offense for backup quarterback Brian St. Pierre. It's a talented offensive line, big with Cook, LaCare, Coppin, Zukowskis, and Colombo. Zukowskis, LaCare, and Cook, seniors, all NFL prospects. St. Pierre with Washington, who gets the start. The fullback rarely carries the ball, but can be a pass receiver. Burke, DeWalt, and Ellis for the Eagles to begin at the 35-yard line.
This, as you've already mentioned, a really good offensive line, and they like to pound the ball.
So Brian St. Pierre, the sophomore from Danvers, Massachusetts, highly touted player who was recruited by Notre Dame, among others, hands to Cedric Washington on the first play from scrimmage, and Anthony Denman from that linebacker spot. The Irish leading tackler throws him back. Weaver, Scott, Legree, and Roberts up front for Notre Dame. Boyman, Denman, and Harrison. Then Williams, Walton, Driver, and Israel in the secondary. And Sapp now comes in for Israel at that strong safety position. Second and 6 for the Eagles. St. Pierre with a short drop, fires it, deflected and intercepted. Off Burke, and Weaver picks it off for the Irish.
I tell you, it started off with a real good jam on Jamel Burke, and Boston College felt that was an advantage to them, that Burke could get away from the bump and run coverage. But watch it, Shane Walton on him like a pit bull. Good coverage, ball gets popped, and then the hustling Anthony Weaver. Now, Anthony Weaver is a defensive lineman, defensive end. Even if he doesn't make the interception, he's going to be downfield to make a play. This guy has done everything for the Irish this year.
It's his second interception of the season. Weaver has picked off 2, and that one deflected by Shane Walton to make the play possible. So off the turnover, the Irish take over at the 40-yard line of BC. I formation, play action fake. Matt Lovecchio, the freshman quarterback, scrambling across the 30, makes a move to the 20, and out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Curtis Bolden finally knocked him out, but Lovecchio with a scramble and a big game.
Matt Lovecchio, the 18-year-old rookie from New Jersey, freshman from New Jersey, continues to make good decisions. See the big old lane right there? Feels it, doesn't force the ball. Pretty good speed. Makes some guys miss, has the ball secured. You know, he's been started. This is his 5th start. Won all 4 of his starts. Only thrown 1 interception and 9 touchdowns. He has really protected the ball. I mean, the coaches have to be pleased with what the way he's playing. They didn't really know what to expect.
23 yards on that one. First down at the Boston College 17. Again, the eye. Julius Jones, the tailback. He gets the call. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. And Julius Jones to the 1-yard line on a second effort run. Finally ridden down by Lenny Walls. 16-yard gain.
This is a good game for Notre Dame to pound their ball. This is a good game for the offensive line for Notre Dame to have a big game, because Boston College, if they've had some problems, it's stopping the run. But they had him stopped for a while. Ramon Johnson, the free safety, their leading tackle, was there, and Julius Jones blew right through it.
Jones finally healthy, and showed us his talent there. Full house backfield now. First and goal from the 1. BC shows blitz. James, touchdown. An opportunistic Notre Dame team taking advantage of the turnover and quickly pounding it across. Extra point attempt by Nick Setta. And the kick is good.
Let's go back to the interception, Tom. And again, really started with the great play of Shane Walton, number 42. Now, this what BC this week thought, hey, they can't jam Jamal Burke. He's too strong for him. But a hustling Anthony Weaver. Second interception of the year, and that leads to this play. A little plunge by Julius Jones. Really, the run earlier really set this thing up. But an opportunistic drive by the Irish.
7-0, but we're not projecting a winner yet.
Oh, I just knew it's coming. It's early.
Notre Dame leading 7-0, and the special teams taking the field.
This is the guy, Matt Saar, one of 30 walk-ons at Notre Dame, and this means everything to him. He has been an unbelievable player on kickoff coverage this year, number 45. One of the reasons, again, the Irish are 6-2.
McNew kicks to either Daniels or Comella. And it's taken by Daniels at the 5-yard line. Across the 20 and then thrown back.
You know, I've never played special teams, as you can tell by the size of my body, but it's like lemmings off a cliff. I mean, this is very unnatural to do what Matt Saar, number 45, is doing. He came to Notre Dame as a walk-on. Football means so much to him. You talk, look at that, just throwing the body into those guys. What a family history at Notre Dame, too.
His dad played. His great-grandfather lived next to Newt Rockne. They were friends on St. Vincent Street in South Bend. His lifelong dream was to play at Notre Dame. He had to walk on to do it, but he's making a real contribution. Two tight end formation on first down for BC. Here's William Green, his first carry, and he has a gain of 5 or 6 yards before he's tackled by Rocky Boyman. Go in depth on the Fighting Irish by logging on to msnbcsports.com. Listen in to the reflections of players who've been heroes in previous meetings between BC and Notre Dame. Plus, vote on Pat's nominees for Irish MVP and on our Fans' Choice Awards in 10 categories. And there is the current voting online at msnbcsports.com. Joey Getterall leading the balloting.
And for all of you in West Palm Beach, you can vote as many times as you like for your favorite Irish player. Joey Getterall, by the way, I voted for him because he was from my old high school, Bishop One. He's a Lancer.
How many times did you vote for him?
Just 3 times. All kinds of different kinds of ballots, electronic, kind of punchy. But Joey Getterall, what a year he has had for the Irish in the return game. Blocker, as a receiver, he's run reverses, done everything.
The jockey, or the shrimp, or shortstop. Third down and 2 for BC. Big play for the Eagles here early. St. Pierre drops the pass, slipped, found his footing, and completes the pass to Ellis for a first down. St. Pierre's back foot, his plant foot slipped, still managed to get it to Ellis for 16 yards. Sapp then makes the tackle.
Ryan St. Pierre is a talented quarterback. You know, you call him a backup, but as we said, he's played in every ball game. Little slippery. This is the very first game they have played on grass this year. Every other game has been on turf. But everybody wanted St. Pierre out of high school, including Notre Dame. They recruited him. He made a couple of trips here to South Bend. Set
all the passing records at St. John's Prep, did the sophomore St. Pierre. Hands to Green. Green changing directions, makes it to midfield. About a 5-yard gain on first down before Harrison makes the tackle for Notre Dame.
Now, we talked about William Green and his 1,000 yards, Tom. You know, you don't have 1,000-yard rushers unless you have 1,000-yard blockers. But you see the kind of average that he's had, 13 touchdowns rushing. He's got another 1 receiving. But he is blessed to be played in front of a good offensive line. And one of the reasons he came to BC, as he told us Thursday when we were in Boston, he said, hey, they have a lot of good offensive linemen. I want to go there because I know I'm going to have some holes.
Smart young man. He's the 14th BC player over 1,000 yards. Short drop, St. Pierre, plenty of time. Finds his man. It's dropped by Guazzo, the backup tight end.
You know, it's interesting. St. Pierre throws a harder ball than Tim Hasselbeck. Some of their coaches were telling us that this week when we were in Boston. And Hasselbeck, very accurate thrower, had a big game against the Irish a year ago. But St. Pierre, the ball, I think it was Tom O'Brien says, does not stay in the air very long when he's thrown it.
There's Hasselbeck, the backup, not the backup quarterback, but the injured quarterback. Sprained his knee against Temple. He had a huge game here against Notre Dame last season, throwing for 3 touchdowns and running for another. From the shotgun, St. Pierre on third down. Carr around the ankle, he gets free. Works himself free, looking for the sticks, dives, and is very close. Rocky Boyman took him down, but St. Pierre had dead aim on the first down sticks and made a dive for it with Mike Wazzo trying to make a block.
Well, yeah, how would you like to be Tom O'Brien, the sideline? Your first team quarterback standing right next to you. The second team quarterback just getting hammered by Rocky Boyman. And Rocky Boyman did stop him short and will force the punt. And this is where we've talked about Notre Dame being really good on special teams this year. Get out of the grasp of Roberts. And again, 2 punt returns for touchdowns, and they've blocked punts as well.
Just came up a half-yard short, so Kevin McMilor, the sophomore from Dallas, punting together all, who says get away from it, takes a Notre Dame bounce, and will be down around the 19-yard line. So McMilor's punt covers only 27 yards. The Leprechauns will take over, leading by 7. Back at Notre Dame, Boston College takes over with good field position, first down at the Irish 42. And St. Pierre has them up ready to go behind that productive offensive line. It's a tradition at Boston College, and a tradition that the running backs especially appreciate. Play action fake and a roll by St. Pierre. Plenty of room to run. He will. He'll tuck it up and go out of bounds. After a short gain, Tony Driver, the free safety, coming up in a hurry to force St. Pierre out of bounds when it looked like he had a lot of green space in front of him.
You know, we talked about the offensive line here, Tom, of Boston College. These guys do a lot of things well. You know, they don't give up many sacks. They've only given up 4 all year long. And boy, can they run the football. You know, over 2,000 yards rushing. They got Cook, LeCaire, we mentioned, Copen, Tukaskas, and Colombo.
Formation on 2nd and 6. Here's Washington, and Cedric Washington falling forward for a BC first down close to the 30-yard line, tripped up by Driver.
You mentioned it, falling forward. If you watch enough of Cedric Washington, he is always moving forward. You know, it has his feet are always kind of close to the ground, which means he can make some quick cuts. Not a lot of long runs because of that long stride, but he's a strong, powerful runner, and he's always seems to be moving forward. And when he gets hit, he gains yards.
Former Massachusetts High School Player of the Year from Holyoke, he gained nearly 7,000 yards, scored 98 touchdowns, all-time leading ground gainer in Massachusetts high school football. Stopped in his tracks that time, though, by Denman. Well, Jeff Gordon, the results from Florida that time were no doubt about them. Jeff Gordon winning that one. And look at this.
You get a lot of mileage out of it.
And the game's not even first quarter. Second and 11 for BC. Notre Dame has 6 defensive backs. St. Pierre short drop pumps. Got away from 2 men, but not the third. Tony Driver puts him down.
This is a formation that BC just ran that you're going to see a lot of them, from them today. It's a 2 tight end, 2 wide out formation. You see, there's 2 tight ends here, 2 wide receivers, and just 1 back. They think it balances out the defense. It gives the quarterback a real good pre-snap read so he can, see blitzes off the corner very quickly, and it gives you a balanced defense to be able to run to either side. So they want to run a lot of that 2 tight end and give the quarterback, an early read of the defense.
St. Pierre in the shotgun on 3rd and 15. Steps up and fires a strike short of the first down to Jamal Burke. He's immediately hit by Jason Beckstrom. It'll be 4th down for the Eagles.
This is one Jamal Burke did get a good release. Remember the interception when Shane Walton kind of ate him up in the earlier on? This time he's against Jason Beckstrom, number 27. Gets a real good release. Wasn't a good jam, a little pushing and shoving there. But he's got the hands the size of small dogs, and they're very, 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 very strong.
Poodles or what are they?
No, pit bulls.
All right. 43-yard field goal attempt by Mike Sutphin, who's hit 11 of 13 field goals this season. Sutphin's boot is on its way, and it is barely good. Just did clear the crossbar. Mike Sutphin puts BC on the board.
What a great story Mike Sutphin is. You know, a year ago, he wasn't even offered the chance to come back. He did come back, kicks a long one here again to make him 12 of 14 in the year. Get the Eagles right back in it.
7-3 Notre Dame as BC gets the field goal.
Good look at Mike Sutphin, number 34, just kicked that 43-yard field goal. You'll see initials on his wrist, JP, with a middle initial there, and he has a little story about that.
Who was he? My best friend's brother from home. He's kind of like the Jesuit ideal of like being a brother for others.
And he's talking about John Price, his best friend's brother, who died in a terrible accident. And just to remember him, he wears that on his wrist. And as we said, he really wasn't invited back by Tom O'Brien after the accident. Kind of inspired him to come back, asked for another shot. He's come back and had a sensational year.
And that 43-yard field goal ties his season's best. And now to kick off, Sandro Scortino with Julius Jones joining Tony Driver as the deep men for Notre Dame. Kind of a squib tip by Scortino, and it picked up by Driver. And Driver slammed down at the 25-yard line, where the Irish will take over a 17-yard return. For more Fighting Irish sports information, log on to UND.com, where you'll find highlights and audio clips of Notre Dame football's coaches and players. Plus, each week, UND.com offers fans a chance to submit questions to a featured Notre Dame player. UND.com, the official athletic site of the University of Notre Dame. So the Eagles of BC getting a lift from the field goal, and Notre Dame takes over at zone 26, leading 7-3. Tony Fisher in the backfield in the tailback spot of the I behind Murray, the fullback. Play action fake. Lavecchio chased. Unloads it. Catch made by Gibbons. And Gibbons will be wrestled down for only a gain of a yard or so on the play by Ralph Parent, the strong safety for the Boston College Eagles.
What a year David Gibbons has had, you know, for the Irish. He does a little bit of everything, played, 8 different positions in high school, and they've used him a lot of ways. One passing attempt for 52 yards. That was against West Virginia. They averaged over 5 yards a carry. Their leading receiver. He's blocked a punt. Plays about 4 or 5 special teams. He has had a remarkable year for the Irish.
Second down. A give to Fisher. And Fisher crosses the 30 to the 32. One of the newspapers wrote about Gibbons, said, well, he did everything but sell popcorn. And when he heard about that, he said, no, I did that too last summer.
That's right. Yeah, some fair here, right? In Indiana, right? Some county fair. And, he played, as we said, 8 positions in high school. He could probably play 4 different positions here. As a receiver, could be a starting tailback, perhaps. Maybe play strong safety or free safety. Very talented guy.
3rd and 4 for the Irish. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers. Lavecchio again is chased for the rush. Escapes one man, turns upfield, dives for the first down marker. Let's see where they spot his forward progress.
Yeah, they spot, I think, just short of the first down marker. Matt Lavecchio protecting the ball, making good decisions, but a really good rush by Sean Guthrie, number 99.
He's been able to get some pressure on.
Absolutely. And then Rossi, who had an earlier big play.
It will be just short of the first down by about a yard. And so Seta is on again to do the punting. Lavecchio reaching the ball out at the last moment, trying to get the first down, but came up just about a yard short. So Seta will punt to DeWalt. Spiraling punt. DeWalt will field it at the 19. Gets to the outside. And is tripped up on a good open field tackle that time from the Irish in the person of Rocky Boyman.
Yeah, they have one of the reasons they're so good on special teams. Their starters play special teams. Rocky Boyman is a starting outside linebacker and a doggone good one. And he rushes the passer, he stops fullbacks, he stops halfbacks, but on the punt team, he's still in. They made a nice, sure-handed tackle there. That red hair is very indicative of the way he plays. The good news and bad news, kind of indicates the way he plays. Bad news is hard to get a fake ID.
Legal block in the back. On a return would be a 10-yard penalty, first down.
The the illegal block in the back call against Boston College will set them back even further. Today's officiating crew from the Big East, headed by Jack Kramer, the referee. That's the first penalty of the game.
Jack Kramer, why is he wearing all whites? Football. Yeah.
Did you used to have a Jack Kramer tennis racket?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Didn't use it. Had terrible backhand. Try to run around that baby.
So Boston College backed up now to the 11-yard line, trailing 7-3. 5:21 left in the opening quarter at Notre Dame.
And here's where you'd love to get William Green going a little bit.
St. Pierre will pass, wings it downfield, down the sideline, collisions and a flag. Burke was winging down the sideline, Walton with him, and it appears that interference will be called. Bob Davies saying it was uncatchable.
Well, that's part of the pass interference rule. The ball does have to be. It's one of those things you debate, though. If he hadn't, held him, could he have caught it?
Pass interference against the Irish. First Notre Dame penalty.
But one more time, it's Jamal Burke, so good off the line. This time matched up against Walton. You see him slapping with his right hand. No interference thus far. That's a trip. I don't think that's pass interference. He had his head turned. It's incidental contact. I don't think that's pass interference. The ball would have been catchable,
pass
though.
Interference. Gets a defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Jamal Burke is awfully good off that line of scrimmage with those hands, though. Man.
A good package of speed and strength. The sophomore from Brockton, who has caught 23 passes coming into today's game.
Bob Davies said it wasn't catchable, but again, if it's not pass interference, it's not, you can't tell. It would have been catchable.
So from the 26, first down for BC. Another pass, St. Pierre chased, then he pulls up and throws it incomplete over the head of Burke that time. Boy, he's got an arm though, doesn't he?
He sure does. He gets rid of it quickly, and it gets there quickly. And St. Pierre has done a real good job, Tom, of kind of moving around the pocket. When he thought about coming to Notre Dame, he said, well, maybe they run a lot more option.
Right.
I want to run. I want to be in a kind of more of a passing offense. So he went to Boston College. It's been a great choice for him. But boy, he's moved around the pocket pretty doggone well.
Meanwhile, that game within the game, Burke and Walton is developing into something special. They were matched up again that time. Way downfield. They're going to try to run the ball with Green, and nothing there as John Owens, the junior from Bowie, Maryland, makes a stop in the BC backfield.
John Owens, number 84, right there. This is the guy that, a lot of guys have sacrificed on this Notre Dame team. Has played offense and defense. Has played some this year at tight end. Early in the year, I think it was a Navy game, and played some defensive end for the Irish.
He's leaving the field now. 3rd and 9. The Irish get extra defensive backs in. St. Pierre in the shotgun. And the rush all over St. Pierre, who slipped and is down at the 20-yard line. Lance Legree was in there in a hurry, and once again St. Pierre slipped.
Well, we talked about their first game on natural grass or grass this year. They said, they practice all year on grass, and although they play on turf, it wouldn't be a problem. But twice we've seen St. Pierre do that.
Kevin McMyler will punt to Getherall.
They're coming.
Nice punt by McMyler, sailing to Getherall, who takes it at the 33. Almost broke free. Caught around the ankles and stopped after a 47-yard punt. Tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern, points leader Bobby Labonte leads all the NASCAR heroes in the Pennzoil 400 as he looks to lock up his first Winston Cup Drivers' Championship. Dale Earnhardt, though, continues his uphill battle to catch Labonte and earn a record-breaking 8th title. That's the Pennzoil 400 tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern on NBC. 3:47 left, first quarter at Notre Dame, and the Irish up on BC 7-3. Mike McNair in at the fullback spot now. Jones the tailback. Looks like the option. And the pitch to Jones. BC's ready for it. Stopping for a loss on the play. Ralph Parrott, the strong safety, comes up and forces the play. And BC was ready for the option.
And Ralph Parrott's did a very good job, not only in that play, but all year long, both in the passing game and in the running game. He's number 24. First, you get the outside linebacker in here. Here's Parrott. You get, the slow play, the quarterback, force the pitch. and parent the strong safeties there to make the play. A big game against Syracuse with a couple of interceptions. Grew up just about 2 miles from the campus at Boston College in Chestnut Hill.
After immigrating from Haiti with his family in 1972. He lost his father within the last year. So Ralph Parent having a good season for the Eagles. And illegal procedure will halt that play before it gets started.
Delay
a game it is.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know, with the freshman quarterback Matt LaVecchio, they haven't had many miscues like that. And one of the things they try to do is get out of the huddle and get to the line of scrimmage with about 15 seconds left. So if you have any problems, if Kevin Rogers, the offensive coordinator, he wants to quarterback at the line of scrimmage, 15 seconds left in case you have to change some things, but didn't get that done that time.
Tribute to a freshman quarterback that you allow him to have the leeway to change plays at the line of scrimmage.
You think there's any way the PR department here will have his name rhyme with the Heisman at some point? How do you get LaVecchio to rhyme with Heisman?
LaVecchio throws a screen to Fisher. Fisher looking for a block, and it was Ordway that got penetration with the blockers in front to make the play on Fisher.
Jonathan Ordway, number 28 for the Eagles. This guy is one of those guys that loves football, plays as hard as you possibly can every single down. You're going to see him come into the picture right to make it sure tackle. He's been injured some this year, but he just flies around the field.
3rd down and 11. Empty backfield. LaVecchio. He slipped a little bit, got his footing, and then Hunter slips after making the catch. Javen Hunter slips down at the 49 of BC, short of the first down. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Julius Jones, number 22, the fine running back for Notre Dame, bruised his left thigh. They're going to look at it. Hopefully he'll be able to return. Right now they're not sure. Tom?
All right, Jim, another in a series of nagging injuries that have hampered Jones all season.
Yeah, he's had a right thumb, he's had a hamstring, he's had a hip pointer, and then the new injury. Last week was the first week he was able to practice, full go all week.
Seta, that's a fake. He faked like the snap had gone over his head. It's a direct snap to Chris Ura. And Ura, another one of those special team standouts, a sophomore from Morgantown, West Virginia, gets the direct snap and makes the first down. Didn't you ask him about that yesterday?
Absolutely. And he kind of smiled when we said, hey, you got that fake punt. And Chris Ura, now he's a scholarship player, but he's the personal punt protector, plays some running back. And this guy has done an unbelievable job. One of those on special teams. Unsung heroes. You don't read his name much the day after the games. Plays all the special teams and plays them well.
Chris Ura picking up a first down on the fake punt. And Notre Dame.
That's their first timeout.
So the Irish calling timeout. Bob Davie arguing a point. His Irish lead 7-3 with a minute left in the first.
Great special teams by the Irish. This is Chris Ura again. He's the personal protector, kind of the up back in the punt formation. Seta's going to give it a Emmy Award-winning performance. And then, it's a great call, middle of the field, 4th and 1, and well executed. Well designed, well executed. And Tom, as we said at the very beginning of this broadcast, they have been sensational. I say top 5 in the country on special teams this year.
Ura lost his sock, but picked up the first down. So Sean Mahan in at left guard now for Jim Jones as the Irish get LaVecchio to the 40-yard line.
To become a complete quarterback anywhere, Boston College, Notre Dame, I think you have to have the respect of your teammates, and respect they don't come with high school stats, and they don't come with personality alone, but you have to earn it. I think Matt LaVecchio, after winning 4 games and 4 starts, playing solidly, more than solidly, I think he's really earned the respect of all the seniors and 50-year players on this Notre Dame team.
In a quiet, understated way. No rah-rah, no speeches, no flamboyance. Just gets the job done. Here's the option. He pitches to Fisher. Fisher has a block downfield from Gibbons and is to the 30-yard line for a first down. Ramon Johnson and Lenny Walls finally make the stop for Boston College.
Yeah, Lenny Walls, number 9, a tall and talented cornerback for Boston College, did a really good job. Even though he picked up the first down, he saved it. Number 9 fights off Givens' block, gets some help. And Lenny Walls, number 9, this is a unique and talented player. 6'4", 198-pound corner, 5 interceptions on the year.
His twin brother Kenny is a BC basketball player. BC with a blitz as the handoff goes to Fisher. Gets a couple of tough yards. Sean Guthrie, credit for the tackle for the Eagles. And that's the end of the first quarter, with the Irish of Notre Dame leading the Eagles of Boston College at Notre Dame Stadium. At the end of the first quarter, it's Notre Dame 7 and Boston College 3. We'll return to Notre Dame after these messages from your local station. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Jim Gray, Notre Dame Stadium. We start the second quarter with the Irish leading the Boston College Eagles 7-3. Notre Dame taking advantage of an interception on the first series of the game, taking it in for the touchdown. BC responding with a field goal. But now the Irish have a 2nd and 8 from the Boston College 29 on the 8th play of the drive. Quarterback draw, LeVecchio slammed down by Goodwin. Doug Goodwin, the freshman, true freshman from Freeport, New York, has gotten a lot of playing time in his first year, making the play on the quarterback draw.
Yeah, Doug Goodwin is going to be a very good defensive tackle at Chestnut Hill for 4 years. You know, he came in, you hope you can redshirt those freshman defensive tackles, but he was not intimidated, was not overwhelmed, thought he could contribute, and indeed he has. Look what Lou Holtz is doing to Florida. 21-3, South Carolina leading, as you see the other scores. LeVecchio flushed from the pocket, fires on the run, incomplete. Jonathan Ordway defending for Boston College, and there is an Eagle injured at about the 35-yard line. Boy, the defensive front has really gotten after Matt LeVecchio. Is that Guthrie 99? I wasn't not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. And they've had a lot of injuries on the defensive line. He's been an overlooked guy, but played really well on this defensive team. 6 sacks, and he's number 99. Right down here. A spin move against Kurt Hodges, gets caught up in a bunch of bodies. It's not fun being in the pit there, the mosh pit some.
On the subject of injuries, Jason Murray, the Notre Dame fullback, has his hamstring injured and his return in question. There's the collision of bodies that you mentioned.
I'm actually amazed it doesn't happen more often. But this guy, Sean Guthrie, I saw the Syracuse game about mid-season or so, and he made an interception. And not that big a deal for a defensive lineman, but it was 30 yards downfield. They played like almost a strong safety when they made the interception against Syracuse.
Guthrie, who leads the Eagles in both sacks and tackles for loss. Replaced by Sean Ryan, a 6'1", 260-pound junior from Buffalo, New York. A converted tight end.
Field goal attempt for the Irish.
It's going to be about 48 yards, 49 yards by Seta. Nick Seta.
Boston College called a timeout.
Coming up tomorrow night.
NBC presents mankind's greatest stories, from Adam and Eve to the 10 Commandments. In the beginning, NBC Sunday.
That'll be tomorrow night on NBC. Well, Boston College sees Seta line up for the long field goal and calls a timeout. It would be the longest of the season by Seta.
You know, they've really been solid. You know, he's kicked a field goal to win a game against Purdue. You know, they've protected pretty well, but this is a long one. You worry about it coming out low.
48 yards. His longest has been 47. Nick Seta puts it in the air and just misses to the right. So the Notre Dame field goal no good, and with 14:11 left in the second quarter, it remains Notre Dame 7, Boston College 3. Ready to go back at Notre Dame. That was the statue of the legendary Irish coach Frank Leahy, who also coached in Chestnut Hill at Boston College for a couple of years.
Yeah, 39-40, went 20-2 at Chestnut Hill.
St. Pierre handing off to Washington on first down.
Yeah.
Managed to shake a couple of guys, falls for a couple of yard gain.
If Boston College is going to win this game, they're going to have to get that running game going. It's 12 rushes now for 24 yards. And we've talked about how good that offensive line is, how they like to get William Green, number 1, going, and Cedric Washington. But Notre Dame right now has been kind of stuffing that run.
2nd and 8 for the Eagles. They trail Notre Dame 7-3. 14 yards for Washington today. St. Pierre hit as he got it underway, and Frank makes the catch and is driven back by Rocky Boyman.
Rocky Boyman just plays with so much passion, but seemingly all over the field doing different things. We saw him on punt returns earlier. Here's Burke. Good field position. The ball gets to him a little bit quicker. Maybe he breaks the tackle of Rocky Boyman. Sure tackle once again, but Boyman, Driver, Anthony Denman, good tacklers for the Fighting Irish. They don't break many of their tackles.
6 defensive backs on the field for Notre Dame as BC faces a 3rd and 7 from its own 35-yard line. St. Pierre has a man open, intended for DeWalt. Walton was closing, and the pass sails incomplete. Fourth down. So Kevin McMiner will come on to punt for Boston College. And the dangerous Joey Getherall awaits the boot.
Joey Getherall is the deep man.
They've blocked 3 punts and returned 2 for touchdowns.
McMiler to Getherall. Getherall from the 26 makes 2 moves. Cuts free down the sideline. Again changing direction and hauled down at the 49-yard line by the punter, McMiler, who might have saved a touchdown.
He ranks 5th in the country in punt return average, over 18 yards per return. Incredible.
It may only be 5'7", but NFL scouts are noticing. 23-yard return by Joey Getherall of a 39-yard punt. We've got a timeout at Notre Dame with the Irish up 7-3. Notre Dame, 12:29 left in the second quarter on Veterans Day, as we give a thanks to all the veterans who have served our country over the years. Appropriate today that the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. is being dedicated as it gets underway. Flag will stop that play. And to all the veterans, especially those of the generation that Tom Brokaw called the greatest generation, who fought in World War II, our thanks. Dead ball, false start against the Irish. That'll put the ball back to the 44-yard line of Notre Dame. Tom O'Brien and the Eagles hanging tough after giving up that early touchdown on the turnover.
Well, he really has built this up against, them being the real Catholic school, we're being the other Catholic school he talked to us about this week. He sold that all week to his players. It's a very emotional Eagle team.
Lavecchio keeps after faking together all. And will suffer because of it.
That's Ordway.
Driven back by Jonathan Ordway, and after all that, he got only a yard and a half.
He's got that mouthpiece up in his face mask. I don't think he puts it in his mouth ever. He just kind of he wears it on his face mask. But number 20, discipline, stays at home. Sure tackler. There he is. He hits you, you go backwards. He runs track at Boston College. He's a sprinter on the track team. See, there's his face. There, now it goes in his mouth.
He ran a 10.800 meters back in high school.
One of those guys just is passionate about the game of football.
From the shotgun, Lovecchio on 2nd and 13. But complete to Gibbons. And Gibbons to midfield as we go to Jim Gray for an injury update. Jim.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. As the penalty markers start flying, Sean Guthrie's over here on the sidelines for Boston College. He has sprained his right knee. He's being looked at by the trainers. Right now he has a big ice pack on it, trying to put some weight on it, but we're told that his return is unlikely. However, he will be reevaluated at halftime. Tom?
All right, Jim, thank you. We see the ice taped to Guthrie's knee. Big loss for the Eagles. Here's a personal foul called against Notre Dame.
Well, we've seen really some unusual things against Notre Dame. Personal fouls. They didn't get past the 25-second clock, a delay of game. They just haven't really been in sync.
Dead ball foul, personal foul against Notre Dame.
Dead ball, personal foul. It's the offense. 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And perhaps all the pregame animosity spilling over and causing some of the Irish players to lose their composure as the personal foul. Didn't really see what it was, but the flags flying way downfield away from the play and a couple of players being separated.
Well, as we talked about, Notre Dame took offense at the way Boston College, won last year at the end of the game. Boston College the year before was offended by some of the things the Notre Dame players said.
From the gun, Lovecchio. In traffic, completes it to Howard, and Terrence Howard making his first appearance on the field. Takes it to the 40-yard line.
Sorry, hustling Justin Hines, a freshman, another true freshman, premier freshman for Boston College. Hustling down there, trying to make a play on the screen. Previous play on the penalty, the personal foul up top, up in here. It's a 2-on-1 situation. And that's where they called the 15-yard penalty against the Irish.
So on 4th down, Seta punts to DeWalt. DeWalt fields it at the 25-yard line, straight up the middle, and twisted down with a superb open field tackle at the 35-yard line.
Anthony Denman.
It was Anthony Denman. Again, the regulars on special teams. It's made a big difference for the Irish. 10-yard return, 35-yard punt. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern, NBC brings you the ultimate test of endurance, the Ironman Triathlon. Watch as some of the best athletes in the world accept the ultimate challenge of swimming, biking, then running a marathon in the Hawaiian heat. That's the Ironman Triathlon tomorrow at 4 Eastern here on NBC.
Try spending a week with a life insurance salesman. Now that's tough. Give me that triathlon stuff.
Green. Bouncing off tacklers at the line of scrimmage and getting to the sideline.
Oh, man.
Boosts him out of bounds. Driver was the last man between Green and the goal line. And Tony Driver able to get him out of bounds.
1,000-yard rusher. 1,000 yards after 9 games, William Green. He is a powerful guy. He's 215 pounds. Big offensive line. Watch how these guys kind of do their job. Big pull there by Colombo, 75. Zukakis right there.
Then they don't wrap Green up.
Yeah, right through Boyman's hand tackle. And then, boy, I tell you, not too many guys knocked Tony Driver backwards.
So Driver managed to save the touchdown, but was punished by Green, who ran for 22 yards. That play covered 22 after BC's first 19 total had only covered 52. They're going to try Green again. No, this time it's Washington who comes in for Green and cuts upfield for a pretty good gain before he's stopped by Anthony Weaver.
Cedric Washington, now he's coming out now. William Green coming in, but really different kind of backs. Washington, real powerful, good feet, full. Can do a lot of different things. Good receiver, and William Green can go the distance.
Injured Irish player. It may be Harrison, Tario Harrison, the starting linebacker. It's been a hard-hitting game with several injuries here in the first half.
Well, the only 2 Division I Catholic schools still playing football. A lot at stake. We visited Chestnut Hill this week, and this game very, very important to the Boston College players on a personal level and on a season level.
Important to the bowl hopes of both teams as Harrison leaves the field, replaced by Carlos Pierre-Antoine, junior linebacker from Everett, Washington. 2nd and 6 for the Eagles. They're at the Irish 38. Green can't turn the corner and is tackled for a loss of a yard back to the 40 by Rocky Boyman.
Rocky Boyman is one of those snap to whistle guys. The ball is snapped and he's going 100 miles an hour till here's the whistle. Sometimes after the whistle, he just keeps going.
Boyman and Tom O'Brien would be a good combination, wouldn't it, with that red hair and the Irish background?
Absolutely.
3rd down and 7. St. Pierre slips again. And that pass is is it caught? Doesn't matter. They're going to rule St. Pierre's knee touched. Back down at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, he's going to either have to change his cleats or kind of adjust his drop, because that's the 3rd different time, and it didn't really look like he was pressured that time to try to avoid anybody, really.
Legree will get credit for the sack, I believe. Let's see.
See, no real pressure. Yeah, just that right foot. And sometimes, you know, as a quarterback, like running backs, you have to gather yourself a little better when you're dropping back.
They ruled his knee down. I'm not sure it ever really touched. Getherall says get away from the punt, which takes a BC bounce and beautifully down at about the 1-yard line.
Jonathan Ordway.
Ordway again with that speed getting downfield to down it. It covered 48 yards, but it backs Notre Dame up. Irish still lead. Welcome back to Notre Dame. Near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Irish take over at their own 2-yard line.
Big defensive series right now for Boston College, trailing by 4.
Full house backfield. Lovecchio appears to be changing the play. Handoff is to Howard. And Terrence Howard takes it out to the 5-yard line. Stopped by Poole as we check with Jim Gray.
All right, well, thank you, Tom. You've seen a lot of the guys slipping and sliding all over the field here today. A lot of the defensive backs, in fact, almost all of them for Notre Dame, have changed their cleats. They came out with the speed cleats, and now they have put on the longer cleats. We've also seen some players over here at Boston College changing. The field doesn't feel wet, but they're having a problem, so they're changing their cleats. Tom?
All right, Jim. St. Pierre of Boston College really needs to change them 3 times. He has slipped as Goodwin of Boston College comes across the line and delivers a blow. Was he drawn off or not? We'll see.
You hate to give him 5 free ones down here, man.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
A lot of times quarterbacks will, hard count, bob their head a little bit. Didn't look like he bobbed it there.
That's a bad mistake by Goodwin.
It's
the freshman, true freshman, making a crucial mistake there. 5 free yards for Notre Dame, gets it out to the 10.
That's not even a freshman mistake. That's a football mistake. I mean, he's been playing long enough to know you watch the ball and jump on the ball.
2nd and 2. Howard gets to the outside and gets the first down to the 17-yard line, tackled by Josh Ott. But thanks to the free 5 yards, the Irish get some breathing room.
Some really unselfish players on this Irish team, and we've talked about Terrence Howard being one of those, Tom. A guy, superstar in high school, came to Notre Dame with great expectations, struggled some, thought he should have some more playing time, thought about leaving, hung in there, and has played pretty well when he's gotten the opportunity.
Here he is again from the tailback spot. Made a nice move in the backfield. And is to the 21-yard line, tackled by Ryan Burns. Back to Jim Gray.
Tom Jason Murray, fullback for the Fighting Irish, number 40, just left the field. He's got a tight right hamstring. They've taken him back into the locker room to look at it, maybe warm it up, and they'll reevaluate it. He'll be back for the second half. A lot of guys going down. We have also not seen the return as of yet of Julius Jones, who still is being bothered by the thigh. So running backs are being depleted, Tom.
And Terrence Howard, though, giving his chance, has performed pretty well so far. He's in the tailback spot, gets the pitch from Lovecchio. And Howard Using his blockers, crosses the 30. Givens, as always, downfield making the block. And Lenny Walls forces Howard out of bounds, but not until he picked up a first down.
Tom, you're absolutely right about David Givens. You know, if you get your wide receivers blocking and your linemen pulling like Jordan Black, number 78, and Lipinski, the fullback, doing their jobs, but if you have a wide receivers block, 5-yard gains turn into 15-yard gains. Givens and Lipinski did a great job there.
Well, Lipinski right here.
Yeah. Right there's Lipinski, and there's Givens.
12-yard gain for Howard. First down, Notre Dame at the 33. And it's Fisher. He crosses the 40, got an 8-yard run on first down, and Ott once again forced to make the tackle.
And Ramon Johnson, number 6, pounded him as well.
So the drive began at the Notre Dame 2, and the Irish have already advanced it to the 41.
Ramon Johnson, free safety, formerly a corner, and well, he's getting the most out of his 5 years at Boston College. He graduated in 3.5 years with a finance degree, now working on his MBA. He's going to get that in a year and a half. He said, hey, they're paying for it. I'm going to get it all done in 5 years.
From the full house backfield. Givens stopped just short of the first down. He lacks about a half-yard, apparently.
From blocker to runner to receiver, you know, blocks, punts, throws the ball. Let me tell us, early this year, he's working on a table. He's a design major here at Notre Dame, and been working on a table all summer long, not quite finished. I think he roomed with Anthony Demon. Demon saying, hey, is this table ever going to be finished?
Again, the full house, this time on 3rd and less than a yard. Rovecchio hands it over to Howard. Nearly broke free. Crosses midfield down to the 48 of Boston College, where Ralph Parent had to make a touchdown-saving tackle. 3rd and 1, he nearly broke free from that initial line of defense. It went for 10 yards.
You know, a number of weeks ago, the Irish really wanted Julius Jones to be their go-to guy, but because of injuries, Terrence Howard and Tony Fisher have been getting a lot more carries and making plays like that. Good block by Jim Jones up front, Jeff Fain, Jordan Black, and then a very determined Terrence Howard picked up the first.
Fisher, as the Irish start to move the ball consistently on the ground down to the 44-yard line of the Eagles.
Well, we said at the very beginning, you know, Tom, this would be a good time for the Irish to really mash it a little bit. I mean, Boston College has not defended the run particularly well, giving up almost 200 yards rushing a game. The defensive backfield has played real well with 15 interceptions. We've seen them rush the passer pretty well. So this is a game, if you're an offensive lineman for Notre Dame, you kind of like.
9th play of the drive. Option. And close to a first down. Lipinski making another fine block. Ramon Johnson, the tackle for BC. First down, Notre Dame.
This is the most option I have seen Matt Lavecchio run since he's become the starter. His 5th game as a starter. Lipinski again leading the way. Joey Gaitherall getting in the way of the defender as well. And that's Lenny Walls, number 9. Making a pretty good stop.
Impressive drive in progress by the Irish, who started at their own 2, just past the 5-minute mark in the second quarter. Tony Fisher, touchdown! Yard scamper by Tony Fisher.
What a cut he made at the beginning of that run. Man.
Set up for the extra point. And center's kick is good. The Irish starting at their own 2, go 98 yards.
All by runs. And what a cutback by Tony Fisher. Good block by Dan O'Leary, one of their 2 tight ends. But your running backs have to have speed, you got to have power, you have to have vision. Well, you got the vision and the cutback ability right there of Tony Fisher.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Fisher. 98-yard drive puts Notre Dame up 14-3. 14-3 Notre Dame after Tony Fisher's 37-yard touchdown run, his longest run of the season. McNew will kick off for Notre Dame with Daniels and Comella deep for BC. That's Comella. And Comella from the 8. Found a little seam for a moment, takes it to the 26-yard line. Let's go back and look at the touchdown.
Well, you know, great running backs have, you know, a vision and they feel things. Watch the beginning of this play as Tony Fisher accepts this ball. The ball is supposed to come this way. But if right there, he sees and feels. I'm not even sure he sees it, but he feels the backside. The backside hole, good block by O'Leary there. And then so it started with the feel, and then he's off to the races. Supposed to go here. Feels something back this side. Vision, speed. We saw a power run earlier. That's a pretty good play by Tony Fisher.
And the whistles halt the proceedings. Notre Dame timeout. So the Irish spend their 2nd timeout, giving us a chance to once again check out Tony Fisher.
Yeah, one more look. I mean, yeah, that thing's supposed to go over the right tackle. Some guys just have a sense of where people are. And Tom, how big was that 5-yard penalty down? Remember, they went 98 yards, all rushes, but they got kind of those free 5 yards that really put them into, what, a 2nd and 2,
right,
rather than that 2nd and 7.
And Fisher now has carried 6 times for 64 yards today, including that touchdown scamper. The clincher on that 98-yard drive, aided mightily by the 5-yard offside penalty when they had the ball, what, at their own 4.
Right. Now, here's a great opportunity for St. Pierre. You know, he's got 4:40 remaining this half, still has 2 timeouts. Everything's available to him. He's got some real big play receivers in Burke, DeWalt, DeJuan Daniels. We haven't seen much of him yet today. You know, an offensive line that does a pretty good job protecting. If you just gather yourself, he slipped 3 times, but he's got some big play receivers.
Brian St. Pierre, as you saw, 3 of 7 in relief of the injured starter, Tim Hasselbeck, who's not suited up today. Washington, just short of the 30-yard line where Legree makes the tackle. That interception led to Notre Dame's first touchdown. And the Eagles have been able to get a field goal, but not much since then.
Yeah, but look, you know, 4, 3, and 4 plays. You know, they just didn't, just not converting on 3rd down.
Irish showing blitz, and they back out of it. St. Pierre had plenty of time and is on target for a first down. A diving catch made by Robert Ellis, the tight end, for 11 yards. Covered by Sapp. It's the BC first down.
Great throw. And then Brian St. Pierre, watch, you know, the patience. This is really hard to do. You have that clock saying, boy, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. Hang on to it, hang on to it. And at the very last moment, he finds his tight end on a crossing route. That is good, great protection. And then a terrific throw by St. Pierre.
Key play for the Eagles. 3:48 and counting, 2nd quarter. They've got a first down, and they're going to run it with Washington. Lineman pulling in front of him, but Notre Dame able to stack it up, and a short gain with Harrison, who was injured earlier and has returned, and Denman.
Yeah, 3:35. You got to get in and out of the huddle. You still have 2 timeouts. I mean, you have plenty of time, but you do want to get in and out of that huddle.
Second and 9 coming up for the BC Eagles. They come with 3 wide receivers, Reed, Hemmings, and Daniels.
Yeah, Ryan Reed, number 14. We haven't seen much of him yet. Sure-handed receiver. He's up here.
St. Pierre, there's a flag down as St. Pierre scrambles free. He's got a big gain. St. Pierre twisted down at the 33-yard line by Tony Driver.
I'm afraid that's a holding.
But it could be a hold against BC to nullify the big play. And that's exactly what it is.
Anytime you see that umpire throw that flag, it's a pretty good indication.
That hold nullifies a 24-yard scramble by Brian St. Pierre.
Holding, gets the offense. The 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
There's Tim Hasselback here. He had some big game running last year against the Irish. Yeah, they're going to call the hold right there on Cedric Washington. It's the blitz by Tony Driver. Cedric Washington.
And then look at Driver in pursuit. He's the man that makes the tackle.
Isn't that incredible? Hustling. There was the hold right there. But you're right. He's past the quarterback right now. There he is, number 25. They hustle, hustle, hustle. Make some plays.
There he is. Driver takes him down. I think Tony Driver's having an All-American season.
Did you get your vote for MVP? You can log on.
Thank you. Never a promo he didn't like. St. Pierre, way downfield. There's a flag down. The pass incomplete, intended for Hemmings, with Beckstrom defending for Notre Dame. I could have sworn I saw a flag. Now I don't see one.
I see the punt team come on.
Was I hallucinating or?
No, well, you may have been. You may have been. Yeah, I think you were, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
But you see the strength of St. Pierre's arm, and really Jason Beckstrom had plenty of cushion. And this was one you were just hoping maybe for a miracle play, pass interference, but big cushion by Beckstrom. The receiver just couldn't run by him.
My fault. I thought I saw a flag midway through the play, but no flag. So it's 3rd and 27. Screen set up and complete to Washington. Needs a block. Cuts back and then is taken down. Tony Driver again right in the middle of things to make the play for Notre Dame. The senior from Louisville, Kentucky.
Boy, he had a good year. Nice block by the center, though. Dan Copen that time out there in front of that screen. Well, it's that kind of game. First grass game. They don't get that at home on your helmet.
You hope you don't get artificial turf on the back of your helmet. You are in trouble.
It's a bad day, yeah.
McMyler. And Getherall say that they're going to get an up-close look at the turf.
That's right. That's right.
Getherall watches that punt sail out of bounds. 1:43 left until intermission, and coming up on the Sun America Halftime Report with Hannah Storm. She'll take you through all the scores and highlights and look ahead to tomorrow's NASCAR Pennzoil 400, and she'll also have an election update from Florida. That's all coming up on the Sun America Halftime Report.
Interesting to see how Bob Davie plays this one. He's got pretty good field position, up 14-3 with a timeout remaining. Not really throwing the ball downfield particularly well yet, though.
They start at their own 34. Hit and dropped in the backfield is Terrence Howard, as the BC defense got good penetration from Rossi.
If BC stops them here, they should use one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
Lavecchio from the shotgun. There's that shovel pass to Howard, and Howard still running and down to the 42-yard line.
Terrific call by Kevin Rogers. Terrific call. And then great execution.
25-yard gain.
You're right. Everybody, there's Kevin Rogers. Everybody rushing upfield. It's like almost a draw play. You know, really, the little pitch inside. If he doesn't catch it, it's not a fumble. It's an incomplete pass. So it's a safe play. It looks like an option play, which they run before. Big old Mike Gandy, number 69, leading the way.
Here it is again. Same play to Howard, this time to the 30. And then it balls loose, and BC has it.
Only the second lost fumble for the Irish this year.
They fumbled once against Air Force. Now their second lost fumble of the season. They lead the nation in fewest turnovers, but just when they were moving the ball, it appears that Curtis Bolden has recovered the fumble for Boston College, and the Eagles have it. Let's see if it's Bolden.
Well, it's a great break and a great play. Good tackle I don't know who it was that popped the ball loose. I think it was Ramon Johnson, number 6, who got the helmet on the ball. So great tackle by Johnson, gives his offense a chance with 1 minute to go and two timeouts.
Eagles from their own 31. St. Pierre across the middle, incomplete, intended for DeWalt. Well, on the first series of the game, we saw Notre Dame intercept a Boston College pass, and they took it in for a touchdown. Now the Eagles, on the last series of the half, perhaps could do the same. But they've got a lot further to go than did the Irish.
The thing is, they have some pretty good receivers, as we talked about, and some good guys good after the catch. So the guys who can turn 8-yard pass receptions into 20 or 30-yard gains.
Here's the handoff to Green. Will Green at the 35, out of bounds to stop the clock with 50 seconds left, but it'll be 3rd and long.
Smart run by William Green. Mill felt like he wasn't going to be able to break that for 40 yards, so the best thing he could do was get out of bounds. William Green is one of those guys that Tom O'Brien fought everybody for. He got him to come in. Brian St. Pierre is that kind of guy, a freshman defensive tackle, Justin Hines. The talent level is really increasing at Boston College.
Green 7 carries, 41 yards in this first half. 3rd and long from the gun, St. Pierre. DeWalt nearly had it as Beckstrom broke on the football, might have deflected it a bit, and it'll be 4th down.
Athletic play by Jason Beckstrom, number 27. Man, that's hard, covering a guy man for man across the field. You love those crossing routes when you're quarterback against man for man, and Jason Beckstrom just trailed him, ran right underneath him, and then knocked it away.
The bad news for BC, they only used 15 seconds, and they got a punt to the dangerous Getherall. Beckmeiler in punt formation. Joey Getherall, fair catch, a rare one.
Hey, need some room there.
Yeah, and they didn't give him room. Flag comes down.
I think they're going to call that on Lenny Walls, number 9.
There's Walls. 37-yard punt, but the penalty is going to take most of that away.
You have to give him that little halo, right? That's an appropriate word here at Notre Dame. That halo to allow him to catch the ball.
For either of these teams.
Yeah, that's true.
Halo violation.
Halo.
5-yard penalty.
He called it.
1st down.
Have you been talking to him?
The halo. That's Jack Kramer.
You and Jack, yeah, you're on the same page.
High school counselor in Albany, New York. There's no halo there. Getherall hates that. He hates the fair catch, It's the 3rd one I've seen in 3 years of his.
38 seconds on the clock till halftime, with Notre Dame leading Boston College 14-3. Two teams that have the requisite 6 wins to be bowl eligible. Notre Dame hoping to win out and get to a BCS bowl. Lavecchio has Getherall out of bounds too, juggling it as he went across the boundary. He had beaten Lenny Walls.
I mean, a great throw by Lavecchio, and it shows you the confidence this coaching staff has in their 18-year-old freshman quarterback. You're up 14-3. You'd think, hey, run it out. The out and up, right past the talented Lenny Walls, open, dropped. You don't see that happen much from Joey Getherall, but to me, it just tells you what these coaches feel about their quarterback.
31 seconds now remaining till halftime. And Lavecchio's got to hurry because the play was late coming in. The play clock down to 5. Gets it off with no problem. And they hand it to Fisher. Levitt makes the tackle for Boston College.
Well, Boston College is going to go into this halftime trailing 14-3. They've got to figure out how to get that offense on track. They've had too many 3-and-outs. I mean, they really haven't been terribly productive, particularly in the running game, which I expected Boston College really to be able to run the ball pretty well.
Only 5 first downs and 95 yards for BC in the first half. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And to Tom. Coach, what are you going to do here in the second half to try and get the offense going?
Well, we have to find a way to run the ball a little bit more effectively. If we run the ball, then we're a better offense.
Are you basically pleased that it's only 14-3? I mean, Notre Dame appears to be dominating the game.
Well, I think they dominated the second quarter. You know, they got to us, made that long run down the field in the second quarter, and that's the difference right now.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Tom, back upstairs to you.
All right, Jim. We're at halftime at Notre Dame Stadium with the Irish leading the Eagles 14-3. Now let's join Hannah Storm in our New York studio. Dusk descends on the Golden Dome at the University of Notre Dame. We're at halftime with Notre Dame leading Boston College 14-3. And Pat, as the Irish make their way through the tunnel back to the field for the second half, dominating the first half in a workmanlike performance with some big plays.
Yeah, there were some big plays. It was kind of a funny little half, but you know, when we talked about turnovers really kind of setting up the Irish season. First series by Boston College. Shane Walton pops the ball up. Anthony Weaver, the defensive end, makes the play. That leads to this Julius Jones touchdown. That set the tenor of the game. And here's Notre Dame's only other touchdown. A great run by Tony Fisher. Terrific vision, and then the speed to get the 14 points.
And for Boston College, not much offensively in that first half. We talked so much about their powerful running game, and as Tom O'Brien said as he left the field at the end of the first half, not much production from that unit.
You know, among the three running backs coming into today's ballgame, they had over 1,700 yards, only 50 yards rushing here in this first half. That has really been surprising to me. Good offensive line, but they have not been able to get that rushing thing going. And the quarterback slipped a lot, too. I think they're going to have to solve him slipping a little bit in the second half.
All right, as we get ready for start of the second half, let's go to Jim Gray with Bob Davie.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Coach, you have to be very pleased with the way your defense played, aren't you?
I thought we played well. You know, we missed some tackles. Their tailback number 1 made us miss. You know, but by and large, you know, we had the turnover, which led to points, and I think we're playing pretty solid on defense right now.
Julius Jones went out. Will we see him here in the second half?
I don't think so. Julius has a thigh bruise that's it's a reoccurring thigh bruise. It's the same spot he hit it on before. I don't think he'll be back.
Comfortable with where things are at right now?
No, I'm not comfortable. It's 14-3. We had a couple opportunities. We fumbled the ball on 1st and 10. It looked to me like we dropped the deep ball there before the half. There's a lot of football left. We get the ball right here, and we got to be able to run the football, continue to be able to do what we did at the end of the first half.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Tom, back upstairs to you.
Okay, Jim. As the lights have been on since the start of the game, and we're ready for the second half here with the Irish looking for their 7th win of the season, as are the Eagles, and Notre Dame leading 14-3.
Well, again, we've talked so much about special teams, but Notre Dame can really put the heat on you, particularly in the return games, and they're going to receive this second half kickoff. And we've seen one squib kick in the first half by Boston College. But boy, I tell you, they set it up beautifully. There's Tony Driver. He blocks the most, dangerous man. Chris Ura, number 23. He blocks singly the second most dangerous guy. And then their front 5, these guys up here do a great job of kind of hustling back and then picking up these 5 guys to come down here. They've done a really good job of returning kicks this year.
Scortino will kick off. Givens has joined Driver with Jones out. And it will be David Givens from the 5-yard line. Here's Givens. He's got a seam. Made one great move to get away and is taken out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. A 29-yard return.
You know, so many moving parts in a return. Watch the front 5 here. They're going to pick off all their guys. They do it. And then Driver right here. I mean, there's the hole. And they do it every single return, no matter who's returning it. It's not so much the matter of whether it's Givens or whether it's Julius Jones. It's that front 5, and it's Tony Driver, and it's Chris Ura.
Irish with a first down. Here's the handoff to Fisher. And Fisher, who is working toward a 100-yard rushing game, takes it for a couple of yards.
You know, Tom, I haven't seen a team in college football. I've watched a lot of college football games over the years being as good for this long on special teams. I've seen great special teams games, but for a whole year, they've been unbelievable. Ranked, 3 different divisions, 3 different areas. They rank in the top 10.
Well, they were subpar in that department last year, and so Bob Davie put special emphasis on it. And the players were telling us they spend as much time on special teams as they do on offense and defense. This is Terrence Howard, and he is stopped after maybe a yard.
And it's part of the walk-on program here at Notre Dame. It's hard to believe that, at the prices, the tuition prices, you get kids to walk on, but they have 30, walk-ons here that, good high school football players. A lot of these guys stand on the bench now are among those 30 walk-ons. They practice hard every day. They move from third team kickoff team to second team. And by the seniors, they're really contributing on special teams.
Lavecchio in the shotgun, 3rd and 7. And he rifles it complete to the tight end. And it is Holloway, Jabari Holloway, one of the captains, that catches it for 16 yards, tackled by Ryan Birch. And
Tom, only the 6th catch by Jabari Holloway this year. He's right here, number 87. And this is a guy who, as you mentioned, a captain, and came in with big and high expectations, had an ankle injury that's really prevented him from getting in and out of breaks much, but still a very good leader.
And very well spoken as we talked to him yesterday. Here's Fisher. Fisher with 2 tackles and is taken down from behind the 25-yard line. Once again, Tom Lipinski, the fullback, leading the blocking, 21 yards before Curtis Bolden catches in from behind.
This is Lipinski's best game for blocking. When you get Jim Jones, you get those linemen out there, you get Lipinski, number 36, doing his thing. Lipinski right there at the end gets on the edge of his guy and allows Tony Fisher to make a cut off his block.
Irish driving off the second half kickoff. Fisher twisted down after a yard gain.
Tony Fisher.
Tony Fisher, the most productive tailback, with Julius Jones going down with injury.
Tony Fisher, Mr. Ohio, a number of years ago in the state of Ohio, coming out of high school.
He's gained 93 yards now on 10 carries.
And Mr. South Bend today. But the Irish seem to be really good in the opening series of each half, and they kind of bog down after that.
Option play, Lavecchio to Fisher. Fisher again using his blockers well. One man to beat, he gets him at the 5-yard line. Getherall, one of the blockers downfield too, despite his diminutive size. And Willie Poole made a touchdown saving tackle, still went for 18 yards.
You're going to see number 18 come in your picture, the wide receiver. There's 87, Jabari Holloway. He does his job. And then a good cut there, and Getherall is clearing the way, downfield blocking. Once again, these wide receivers do such a good job. Watch a little wider look here. There's Getherall right down here. And that allowed Tony Fisher to cut inside him.
And Fisher has a 100-yard rushing day. Here he is again. And only gets a couple that time, as the BC defense was ready for the run, and the Ryan Birch at the bottom of the stack.
Vecchio came up limping. He kind of tripped over one of his offensive linemen and kind of limping around a little bit. They made a switch at their backup quarterback, moving Gary Gotze to tight end now, and you got 2 true freshmen behind Lavecchio.
Full house backfield on 2nd and goal.
Oh, there's the head bob again. The hard count. It's amazing. He's used it twice. Once when he was backed up on his own 2-yard line, remember, and he got the 5-yard penalty. And then down inside the 5, he did it again.
Prior to the snap, offside. Second down.
Sean Ryan, and once again, Doug Goodwin, I believe, bit.
Hard count for the second time. And it's amazing. A lot of coaches don't like to use the hard count when you get into scoring territory. Use it in the middle of the field on 3rd and 4 or something like that. But a real disciplined offensive line just hang in there.
Ryan came charging across, so here they are again, jamming at the line of scrimmage. Howard fighting, cannot get in. Thrown back by the BC defense as Lenny Walls from the corner spot made the difference to throw him back.
Well, Lenny Walls, number 9, has made a lot of difference this year in the Eagles defense. We talked about his size. His wingspan's almost 6 feet. He's number 9, 4 sacks, 5 interceptions. Now playing some good goal line defense.
10th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and goal from the 1. Handoff, and Fisher has the touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the day for Tony Fisher. Exeta to attempt the extra point. And the kick is good.
Well, they went 98 yards earlier in the first half without throwing a pass. This time, 65 yards, 9 plays, and only 1 pass completion there. And this is the end of that drive that took almost 4.5 minutes. When you have those kind of drives, Tom, it means your offensive line is doing a pretty doggone good job.
And Notre Dame opens the second half with a score. It's 21-3 Irish.
You know, we talked about it. They always, in the opening drives each half, they seem to be good, and then things don't seem to happen after that. Okay. 16 are good. Well, that's okay.
Hey,
package. Okay.
Tom.
Yeah.
Lavecchio left knee bruised. It was bruised in the Air Force game.
Right.
He will return. But Pat, you were exactly right. He hurt himself on that play. And for you, Pat, St. Pierre did not change his shoes. He decided he didn't want to change his shoes. He says it's just a little slick out there, but he's going to keep the cleats he had on for the second half as well.
Thank you, Jim. I don't know if you want to do that report, but thank you.
No, you go ahead.
All right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. That was the one we talked about.
That's what he told the trainer right when Pat commented on it. And it's been bruised since the Air Force game, and it got kicked or something, I guess, on the handoff or got run into. I don't see the replay.
Yeah, that's a good shot of it, guys. That was it. Yeah.
Back at Notre Dame, where the Irish take the second half kickoff and march down the field to take a 21-3 advantage. McNew will kick off to Comella and Daniels. This will be Daniels at the 10. And Daniels breaks free for a moment and then is taken down on a tackle at the 30-yard line by Courtney Watson. Another special teams player you don't often see. And meanwhile, Lavecchio a bit shaken up on the touchdown drive.
Yeah, he was on this handoff. His left knee collides with Terrence Howard, or excuse me, Tony Fisher. And he got up right after that, started limping around, and he will return. Jim Gray has reported that he will return, but he had a bad wheel since the Air Force game.
Bruised his left knee in the Air Force game and aggravated it there, but expected to return. BC needs something going here now for their first possession of the half. Will Green stopped short of the 35-yard line. Give him about 3 yards on first down. Well, what about that final? Oklahoma rallying to beat the Aggies as A&M threw one into the end zone on the final play there. But
well, the first time A&M's lost at home in a long time.
Getherall staying warm on the sideline.
As I noticed you have, putting your jacket on.
You went to cheers at the first quarter.
I'm a wimp.
St. Pierre's first pass of the second half caught by DeWalt, surrounded by Irish players, stopped short of the first down. Sapp, first man to arrive on the scene for Notre Dame as we go back to Jim.
All right, Tom, well, I spoke to Brian St. Pierre. Pat has commented throughout the telecast. Guys are slipping out here. We saw several of the Notre Dame defensive backs change their cleats. I asked St. Pierre at the start of the second half when he came out if he had changed his cleats because he slipped 3 or 4 times. He said no, he just felt the ground was a little bit slick in some places, but he wasn't comfortable at this point changing his shoes, so he's got the same pair on. Tom?
Boy, take a quarter to get those things changed.
3rd and 3. Here's the reverse play to DeWalt, and DeWalt with blockers in front. DeWalt still has one man to block for him. He gets Walton out of the way, cuts back, and is down at the 29-yard line.
You think you watched the tape of the Air Force Notre Dame game? It was the same kind of reverse that Joey Getherall ran in overtime. But DeWalt is right down here. You're going to see a couple of really big blocks, but DeWalt's the wide receiver. Looks like an option. The reverse. But watch, I think it's Copen and Laquer over here. Watch these guys. Watch what's happening. Copen the center, Laquer the left guard. Good cutback, but really looking for a play to change the momentum of the game.
It got him 33 yards and a first down at the Irish 29. Green, 4 yards to the 25. Anthony Weaver and Anthony Denman
Green
combining to stop.
Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, really nice call. Just trying to change the pace, the rhythm of the ball game. First kind of really off play, got a kind of reverse trick play, if you will, and he picks up 35 yards. Really good call, well executed by DeWalt, and a saving tackle for a touchdown.
2nd and 6. Looked like an illegal procedure by the right side of the line, and the veteran Paul Zakauskas.
Now, some teams, coaches, when they see another team successful with plays, they kind of imitate them. Nothing wrong with that.
Part of that front start.
Start on BC. That's 5 yards.
Go second down.
This is Getherall in overtime as he gets the winning score on the reverse.
And then Boston College came back and ran the same play. And he ran it for 30 yards.
False start, though, cost him 5 here, so it's 2nd down and 11. Ball back at the Notre Dame 30. Play action fake, and St. Pierre lines up and hits downfield. There was a vicious hit at the end of the play. Mike Guazzo, the tight end, saw the ball go through his hands.
He got hammered by Tony
And then
Driver.
hammered by who else? The driver driving right through him.
Oh. Mothers, have your sons play golf. Certainly not tight end. And this is, you hang, if you're a quarterback and you hang the ball up a little bit, boy, you worry about your receiver sometimes. Mothers worry about their sons. But Tony Driver's been kind of doing this all year long to runners and receivers. Bounced up, though.
Now 3rd and 11 for Boston College. Empty backfield. St. Pierre. Blitz comes from Notre Dame. St. Pierre has a man open, and the catch made down to the 5 and the 4-yard line. Ellis in traffic took a hit and held on to the ball 26 yards. Shane Walton finally gets Robert Ellis to the turf.
Well, Guazzo, the other tight end, just got drilled, but not to be discouraged. They come back to Robert Ellis, the other tight end, right down here, down the middle of this defense. Frozen rope by St. Pierre. Great concentration by Robert Ellis. Terrific story. Left the team last year, had to get voted back on by his teammates.
So BC converts a 3rd and 11 with a 26-yard completion. And St. Pierre for the touchdown to Wessler, the fullback. His 8th reception of the season, his first touchdown as the junior from Easton, Connecticut, gets the BC score.
Terrific series, Tom, for the Eagles. And give Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, a lot of credit. He really mixed it up. That reverse for 30 yards really kind of shook him loose a little bit. And then you come back and you throw the ball to the fullback for the touchdown. Fullbacks are always open.
Sutphin for the extra point. And he boots it through. So a counter-punching touchdown by the BC Eagles. They took the blow from Notre Dame to open the half, come right back with one of their own.
And Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, said to us this week, we're going to run that fullback in the flat, and people rarely cover him. You get so worried about tight ends and tailbacks and wide receivers. Oftentimes the fullback can sneak right out in the flat, and that's just what Utzler did. 6 points.
Utzler hasn't carried the ball all season, but that's his 8th reception and a big one. It's now 21-10. Boston College takes it 69 yards in 7 plays, 3.5 minutes, converting a couple of huge third downs to make the score 21-10.
Best drive of the day.
Scortino kicks off for Boston College. Givens and Driver, the deep men for Notre Dame. And into the end zone, Givens will bring it out. Givens. He was about one man away from a huge return. And the Irish will take over finally getting their running game going in the form of Tony Fisher.
Oh, yeah, what a half he's had. 114 yards thus far. This is the first half, and got it in some big chunks there. And then some tough runs, and he's had some short runs as well. 2 touchdowns, 114 yards. Some good outside blocking by his wide receivers. And there's one of those 2 touchdowns, but a really productive day.
Irish with the first down, their own 27. Pitch it to Howard. Terrence Howard stopped at the 30-yard line.
The Boston College defense, you know, when your offense kind of responds as they did in that last drive, it's up to them now to give another chance. Your offense they're hot. They've had a change of momentum. They get a turnover. There's Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator, pretty emotional guy himself, but he said, hey, we've got to play flawlessly to win. But they want to get that offense the ball back right now, where they feel a lot of confidence.
Together all in motion on 2nd and 7, and up the middle. That's Terrence Howard, nearly to midfield, where he's wrestled down by Will Poole.
You know, the fake together all held about 3 Eagle defenders. I mean, together all was coming around. Those guys in the defensive backfield kind of saw it. And then these guys come down here, and there's a big hole inside. Nice push-out block right there by Black and Jones. Javen Hunter downfield giving the block.
And Terrence Howard bursting free for 18 yards.
This is why you're happy if you're a head coach if you have 3 talented tailbacks.
From the 48, pitch it again to the tailback Howard. Tough yard. Poole again on the tackle.
Well, Willie Poole, number 13, boy, did he make a nice play there. Just kind of took on a lead blocker, just kind of then spun around right into the play and made a tackle. One moment he's guarding wide receivers downfield. The next moment he's taking on fullbacks.
Willie Poole, a redshirt freshman from St. Albans, New York.
A bunch of good corners at Boston College. Walls and Poole and Ordway.
230 yards rushing for the Irish today. Again, they fake the reverse together all and give it to Howard. That worked a moment ago. Not so well this time as they take it to the other side of the field. And
every time Gabriel runs that fake reverse, though, Tom, somebody up in the press box is watching. Hey, are they defending me? Are they defending me? And when you let your guard down, then they give it to him.
They've got me conditioned. I'm looking at him closely every time.
Well, that's good. You can do that. You're very capable of doing that.
Only one conversion on 3rd and long for the Irish. This one 3rd and 6, and Lavecchio in the gun. Lavecchio fumbled the snap, then he scrambles free. He's going to make a nice gain out of it. A first down, Matt Lavecchio fumbles the ball. And BC has it.
Well, things were going so well for Matt Lavecchio for about 95% of that run. Derek Rossi, was he the guy who stripped it, number 58?
Rossi's the one that recovers it. I think Walls was in there on the play maybe to strip it, but Rossi definitely came up with the football.
Lavecchio, fumbled the snap and looked like he was trying to play basketball. He was trying to dribble it here at first. Should have caught that snap. Then does the right thing, just, make the most of it as you can. Secure the ball, though. And then Lenny Walls, number 9, you said, is he the one who knocked it out?
Not sure.
Second fumble lost by the Irish today. They only had lost 1 all year up to today.
It was Walls that stripped it. Notre Dame Stadium shimmering like a jewel in the Indiana darkness, with the Irish leading 21-10, but their second lost fumble of the day has given the ball to Boston College. That's twice as many fumbles as Notre Dame had lost coming into the game all season. St. Pierre wings it downfield, incomplete, intended for the fullback Camella.
Good coverage by Tario Harrison, number 51. Ordinarily, you say that's a matchup you'd love. Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, trying to get the back on the middle linebacker, but Harrison, injured earlier in the game, and still runs with the fullback stride for stride and makes a nice play.
St. Pierre under center on 2nd down and 10. Hand off to Washington. Flag down as the Notre Dame defense strings it out and stops Washington for a loss on the play. Legree, excuse me, was into the backfield, but the penalty marker came flying down.
The preliminary signal was a hold against the Eagles. Yeah, Kramer. He's the official. 30 years he's been officiating.
And Anthony Denman of Notre Dame with the option on the holding call against Boston College. They'll decline it. That'll set up a 3rd down and 12 after a loss of 2 on the play.
We're going to see Anthony Weaver down here kind of get the Heimlich maneuver put on him. That was the call.
Crowd into it now on 3rd and 11. St. Pierre. Pass deflected and incomplete. Great defense that time by Jason Beckstrom defending against Jamal Burke.
This is Jason Beckstrom's best game. He is a guy that has struggled a little bit as the Irish nickelback, but he has made a couple of good plays. Remember earlier in the game in the crossing route, this time on a hook route, good recovery to get over the top. Now that left hand, that might have been
should have been interference.
Yeah,
should have been interference. Yep. Getherall awaits the boot from McMillan. No fair catch, and he fumbles the ball. Still loose.
Went out of bounds.
Out of bounds. It'll belong to Notre Dame. 34 yards on the punt.
Just hates to fair catch. Maybe that's one he should have.
Yeah, definitely should have. Never really had possession.
Good special teams play again by Lenny Walsh, you know.
So the ball will finally trickle out of bounds, and the Irish retain possession deep into the 3rd quarter. Mike Brown's the leprechaun. He is would you say he was a seasoned leprechaun?
2-year starter. This is his 2nd year as a leprechaun. Yeah.
Seasoned leprechaun, quite tasty. Tony Fisher, and right now Fisher's had a great day. This one breaks to the outside. Wallace has the angle and knocks Fisher out of bounds to save the touchdown.
Great day for offensive linemen, particularly Notre Dame offensive linemen, who have really taken control of this game. Watch these guys. Now again, good, clever running by Tony Fisher, but really no one really touches him until he's knocked out of bounds by Lenny Walsh. Good lead block again by, I think it was Lipinski again. The fullback, Joey Getherall, trying to catch up and throw that last block.
48-yard gain for Fisher, who pads his rushing stats. And he's up to 162 yards. Here's Fisher again. They didn't give him a breather. Right back into the trenches for a couple of tough yards. And a skirmish breaking out downfield draws a reaction from the crowd.
It's an 11-point lead by Notre Dame right now. If you're Tom O'Brien and Boston College, you're hoping really to at least force a field goal attempt. You'd love a turnover, obviously, but you'd like to force the field goal attempt.
Season or career high for Tony Fisher. Season and career high for Fisher rushing. 164 yards. Play action fake. Lovecchio throws it deflected, intended for Gibbons, and lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, Gibbons,
Scott Bradley defending.
Excuse me, Gibbons slipped around a little bit. Another one of those guys slipping and sliding out. Look at his helmet. Boy, he's taking a couple shots, hadn't he? But he was in the slot, gets his hip turns when you're throwing the ball to the left, drill it down there into traffic. It's one of the things Levecki was saying, hey, I can't force the ball. He was saying that to us yesterday. But I think it was a little off rhythm because David Givens kind of slipped.
Look at that. Exactly the same. 8 completions for 79 yards, both sides of the football. Here's the option. Lovecchio keeping and dodging tackles. to the 6-yard line. Ordway gets him to the turf at about the 5, actually, and brings up a 4th down.
Lavecchio's limping around again like he was earlier, and it's one of these option plays. And down here, don't take a chance. Don't force it. Don't turn it over. Hang on to it. Give yourself a chance to kick a field goal or attempt a field goal attempt.
On 4th and 1, they will go instead for the field goal with Nick Setta.
Well, Boston College's defense did their job.
The holder is Omar Jenkins.
Watch out for
Tibble, excuse me, Tibble.
Field goal attempt.
22-yard attempt. It's a fake. Touchdown.
So watch out for the fake. It was incredible. Special teams again. Give Bob Davies some credit. I mean, ultimately, all these fakes have to go through the head coach's headsets. They've had a fake punt and now a fake field goal attempt for the touchdown.
So Nick Setta, after scoring the touchdown, doesn't even get to celebrate. Now he's got to try the extra point.
Oh, boy. Terrific call by Bob Davies.
Setta, who runs track at Notre Dame, knows what to do when he gets the football, and now he'll try the extra point. And does that too. All 7 points scored by Nick Setta, capping a 5-play, 63-yard drive.
The element of surprise has been such a large part of this game. Tibble, like an option quarterback. He's a walk-on. Perfect pitch, perfect call, easily caught by Setta. He's not sure what to do. We got good blocking up there. Casey Robin, number 62, doing a great job. Boy, that's good coaching. They saw something in the tape. See Mike Brown, the leprechaun, got into the act.
I think Setta wanted to line up and go for 2.
How about Tibble? He's the holder. We've talked about walk-ons, Tom, a lot. He's another one of those walk-ons. Adam Tibble, number 80. Great job, great execution. There he is. 1 of 30 on this Irish team, and all of them playing their last game this year at home, many of them seniors. 37 band members actually playing their last. They just turned at halftime last game here too.
So Tibble to Setta on the 5-yard touchdown run.
You didn't practice that call this week, did you? Well, Setta's an athlete. High jump 6'10" in high school.
63-yard drive. Look at that Setta. He still can't get used to it. That loose kick is a short one. Taken by Daniels and returned short of the 35-yard line. Hard to believe Thanksgiving is nearly here and the football season is winding down. Boston College has 1 game remaining after today and another tough one as they go to Miami. This is Notre Dame's final home game as they close out at Rutgers and at Southern Cal. Green bursting free for a moment. Tackled after a gain of 10 by Ron Israel.
Good open field tackle. Otherwise, William Green put 6 on the board. Ron Israel battling some injuries, groin, back, stomach injuries all year long, number 5. But William Green had a hole there. The offensive line did a good job.
Just enough for a Boston College first down.
In and out of the huddle.
They trail 28-10. And the clock shows a minute 23. 3rd quarter. Green again, changing direction. And a flag late as he's tackled at the 45 by John Owens.
Another hold.
Well, there have been some untimely penalties by the Eagles today.
I think it was somebody was holding Lance Legree, number 90, for the Irish. He's a guy that's a pesky inside rusher.
And the former Marine Tom O'Brien, not one to tolerate penalties.
Yeah, there it is right there. Oh, yeah. Well, if he had some lamb caught in his throat, he came out of that one.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, got all 15 yards worth, right, or 10 yards worth, yeah. Whew. That's it. Well, now, time really the enemy for Boston College. With 1:07 in the third, they'll probably, including this possession, have about 4 possessions left. They trail by 18.
St. Pierre steps up in the pocket and then throws a bullet that grabs a flag.
That's the field judge. He picked it up. Nope.
Brock Williams defending Dedrick DeWalt. Interference, Notre Dame.
Clearly, Bob Davie didn't think it was pass interference. Most head coaches don't.
Pass interference against the defense. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
That's a good call. You see that right hand?
Yeah, it's on Brock Williams. And boy, but the ball gets there so fast.
He does, boy.
I mean, the defensive backs just don't have much chance to recover, do they?
St. Pierre has a cannon for an arm, maybe too much so sometimes.
There's the center, Jeff Fain from the nice Shamrocks going there. Well, I hope he didn't get traded there.
First down as a result of the penalty. St. Pierre gets a good block as he rolls free. Fires on the run. Too high, too tall for DeJuan Daniels.
DeJuan Daniels, number 32, is one receiver for Boston College that's really good after the catch. Came as a kind of a running back, then played a little defensive back, switched him to receiver a year ago. His very first play as an Eagle as a wide receiver caught a touchdown against Navy a year ago, but always seems to make the first guy miss. He'd be a guy you'd love to throw some quick screens to.
Prep All-American and former Indiana Mr. Football returning to his home state. Counterplay, Green. Nice tackle made by Denman, and then Driver comes up to finish him off.
That's a pretty lethal combination, Denman and Driver. Usually it only takes one of those guys to knock you down. Anthony Denman came to Notre Dame as a running back. Autry Denson was here and figured, hey, I can't play much there behind Autry Denson. And he's going to leave as a very, very good linebacker.
As the final seconds of the third quarter tick away. And Boston College is going to let time expire and not run another play. Final home game of the season at Notre Dame, and after 3 quarters, the Irish have the lead. At the end of 3, it's Notre Dame 28 and Boston College 10. We'll return to Notre Dame after these messages from your local station. Final game at Notre Dame Stadium this season. And as we head to the fourth quarter, the Irish lead Boston College 28-10.
A big 3rd and 10 situation right here for Boston College.
Holding a fourth quarter lead has not been a strength for Notre Dame this season, as they try to hold off the Eagles. Here's a 3rd and 10. St. Pierre, his pass is caught for a big game, but maybe a yard short of the first down by Reed. Ryan Reed, who played in Austin, Texas in high school with Drew Brees as his quarterback.
Now, I can't believe they're going to actually punt this ball, but they're bringing the punt team out. You always worry about the fake, right?
4th down and a yard after Reed came up short on the first down yardage needed.
And again, down by 18 in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Now, you only have 3 possessions a quarter about. Surprised.
Yep, they do punt it away.
Good offensive line.
Gettero's going to let it go, and it bounces into the end zone. Well, that is a strange sequence.
He had about 13, 14 series a game, so 3 or 4 a quarter.
Boston College, first of all, did not get a very generous spot on the reception as we looked at the replay, and then electing to punt it and punting it into the end zone.
Yeah, a comedy of errors there. Never punt the ball in the end zone. Well, Boston College's defense needs a turnover. They've created 2 fumbles thus far. Remember, Notre Dame only had 1 coming into the ballgame.
So the Irish operate from their own 20. They've outgained Boston College 392 to 188. Here's another big game for Howard. A flag down late. Might have been a face mask. I didn't see the end of the play right against the Notre Dame sideline. Nope, it'll be a hold against Notre Dame.
That's the first break Boston College needs. Instead of what, about a 25-yard run?
I don't think Bob Davies liked to call all day, has he?
I don't know too many head coaches that do, you know.
Holding. Gets the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Going back to that third down reception by Reed. Well, this is something else.
Yeah. And there it is. You get bump and run coverage oftentimes. Now, where does his foot come down? Right past the marker. And the ball is past the yard marker. It wasn't really a generous spot, was it?
No. Terrence Howard carries. Here's one more look.
Got possession. The ball is right. It's past the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Right about there.
But the spot was on the other side of the 50.
Yeah, it's, you know, a very dubious spot.
Given only a foot to go on fourth down, Tom O'Brien might have done something different.
Second and 4.
Howard gets the call once more, and will be short of the first down.
Curtis Bolden making that stop.
Bolden, the sophomore from Dorchester, Massachusetts, Belmont Hill High School.
Kind of a chaser type, you know. He's only 220 pounds. One of those real quick outside linebackers you like, chasing plays from the backside.
Third down and 2, and Notre Dame shows the full house backfield. Ball's at their own 28. Blitz shown by BC. Howard again, fighting his way toward first down yardage, and looks like he might barely have it.
Yeah, we've seen some real long runs by Tony Fisher, but that's a really important run by Terrence Howard. You know, you're up 28 to 10, and you need a first down. You need about 3 yards. Yeah, you've had some wonderful kind of, you know, 40, 50, 80-yard runs, but boy, when you need those 3 yards, you give the ball to Terrence Howard, and he kind of powers his way to keep the drive alive, keep the clock moving.
Notre Dame seniors trying to go out a winner at home and avenge a loss here last year to Boston College. Tony Fisher back in the game. A couple of tough yards for him. He's gained 166 on the day. Florida State on its way to a big win over Wake. And Florida at one time trailed, what, 21-3 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 21-3, you're right.
So they've scored 41 or 40.
Wow.
39 straight, something, 38 straight.
Some good football on the West Coast. Oregon's a good football team.
Virginia Tech struggling against Central Florida without Michael Vick. Gives it to Fisher. He nearly broke another one. He will, as it is, be just about a foot short of the first down, depending on the spot of this football. Keith Levitt chasing down Tony Fisher, who's had a career game today.
Yeah, on his way to maybe 200 yards, Tom.
Yeah.
Again, you can't have 200-yard days without your offensive line being awfully efficient. And notice he's not getting hit until he's already gained about 4 yards. There's Ramon Johnson, number 6, who's had a busy day at free safety.
And as they measure, it is by an inch or so on Notre Dame first down. Bob Davie in the grind it out, run the clock mode here with a 28-10 lead and just over 12 minutes left.
You know, Tom, he hasn't been able to enjoy these kind of games much. We have seen 3 times this year his team has won on the very last play of the game, and then in a 4th game against Michigan State, they lost, you know, inside a minute. So I guess if you can enjoy such a game, he's enjoying this type of game.
They generally keep things interesting, but moving the clock here and moving the first down markers as well. Fisher tackled for no gain, and after some comments at a press conference last year, or not the press conference but the pep rally, Boston College using the Notre Dame remarks to fire themselves up, and then at the end of the game grabbing some turf off the field. Well, that triggered a response by Notre Dame this season, and the Irish backing it up so far with a 28-10 lead.
Well, we talked about 5 different Irish players yesterday. Almost everyone were talking about that incident of a year ago.
It all started last year at a Notre Dame pep rally when some BC supporters there heard some remarks they didn't like. That motivated them for their win over the Irish, who appeared to take motivation from that contest last year today. And on it goes. Jonathan Ordway tackles Tony Fisher.
Well, Tony Fisher, you know, we've talked about, hey, he lost a starting job. This is the guy that started all 12 games for the Irish last year at tailback. And then the sophomore sensation, Julius Jones, came in. There was a change into the guard. They wanted Julius Jones to be the go-to guy. He didn't hang his head. Hung in there. When he got his opportunities like today, he's played magnificently.
Vecchio's pass to Gibbons. Bounces off one tackler and then carries a couple to the 50-yard line, but short of the first down by a couple of yards. Only the 12th pass of the day by Notre Dame. And it figured that if there were any teams that the Irish could run against, this would be one of them. Boston College has struggled stopping the run, and the Irish ground game has been productive.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's actually, well, here comes a punt team. I thought they were thinking about going for it, but say one thing, I've never seen a fake punt twice in a game, you know, but these are the kind of situations you run them. Well, Chris Ura, number 23, coming in. There's Chris, he's the quarterback of the punt team.
Well, the Irish succeeding on the direct snap to Ura on the fake punt earlier in the game. The Irish have rushed for nearly 350 yards today. The punt by Seta, who's done a bit of everything today, will be downed at about the 6-yard line. Nick Seta's had quite a game.
Yeah, nice backspin.
44 yards on that one. The sophomore from Lockport, Illinois, Nick Seta. He's having a career game too. Back at Notre Dame as Boston College takes over deep in its own territory, and Will Green nearly got loose down the sideline. As it is, he'll gain a first down. Ron Israel finally puts him out of bounds.
You know, really kind of, excuse me.
Top rushing.
Yeah, kind of held in check. Only 59 yards prior to this run. Clears the way, slow developing play to allow Michael Cook, the left tackle, to kind of come around and seal his guy. This is a powerful player, number 1, William Green. We spoke with him this week. Very bright kid.
Yes, yes. And that one went for 17 yards, so he's gradually inching his way toward a 100-yard game. St. Pierre, complete, no one around Burke. And Jamal Burke crosses the 30 to the 32.
They need, you know, I'm surprised they're huddling, Tom. There's under 9 minutes in this ball game. You trail 28-10. I think they're spending a lot of time in the huddle, don't you? And it seems like they ought to be a little bit more immediacy.
Right. Burke's third catch of the day makes it 2nd and 1, and you're right, they are spending a lot of time in the huddle. Granted, they do have their backup quarterback, St. Pierre, who might not be quite as adept at the 2-minute drill. Green close to the first down. Anthony Weaver, the tackle.
Just to save time, if you're the quarterback, you'd say, well, we want a measurement. Just you know when you're trying to get the clock stopped any way you can. They did stop it.
Hasselbeck watching from the sidelines.
Yeah. Now again, St. Pierre ought to have his team in the huddle. There he is. Get his play ready to go. So as soon as they've figured out whether it's a first down or not, he is ready to go. Yeah. Here comes the play into St. Pierre, so they should be ready. He's going to be just a little short. So that clock will start once the chain crew gets over there and is set.
That interception led to the first Notre Dame touchdown. It came on the opening series of the game on a pass that was deflected. 8 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock, which will restart when the ball's marked ready for play. And they should be up on the line ready to go as soon as the ball's marked.
Right. BC should be on the line. Every second is precious.
There's the whistle. And the clock starts.
Yeah, I think they've wasted, what, 5-6 seconds maybe?
Third down and a foot. St. Pierre sneaks.
He's got it.
And that will stop the clock momentarily.
Yeah, and they'll move the chains. When the change is set again, the clock starts.
Boston College first down. Clock starts.
They haven't got the play called yet. Here it comes.
Precious seconds again. Ticking off the clock. From the eye, play action fake. St. Pierre's pass, open man, and it's caught at midfield. That was Ellis, the tight end.
Well, he's made some nice catches, hasn't he?
Yes, he's come free a couple of times. 18 yards on that one.
I believe that's the third catch today, fourth catch today of Robert Ellis. Had 10 coming into ball games. Cut. Those tight ends always catch the tough ones over the middle. This one's kind of a corner route, but he caught a post pattern a little bit earlier. But drill shot, good hands. Well thrown ball by St. Pierre.
Gives Boston College a first down at the Notre Dame 48-yard line.
Man on man up here.
St. Pierre looks that way. Downfield. Daniels, no, incomplete. Or was it? Yeah, incomplete pass. Beckstrom defending for Notre Dame.
No penalty, no flag. Good read, though, by St. Pierre, yeah. And Tom O'Brien can't play. One-on-one coverage locked up here against Beckstrom. At the last moment, the safety over the top, so the free safety comes in. The ball would have been a tough catch, but in Daniels' range.
Would have been 29 yards. Could he have held on? Clock stops at 7:33.
We really haven't seen a draw or a screen at a Boston College yet today, have we? Not that I can remember.
Hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Denman and Israel.
They seem to call Anthony Denman's name a lot.
Yep.
And they're on defense.
Leading tackler on the season. Leading sack man on the season. The senior from Rusk, Texas, one of 4 captains for the Irish.
In the last game against Air Force, had 5 tackles for losses and forced 2 fumbles.
Third down and 9, and they're in 4 down mode now, I would think. Averaging 4 yards a carry on the ground to Notre Dame's nearly 7.
Nobody's covering him.
From the gun, St. Pierre. And that one across the middle is complete.
No, is he?
Complete and down, I believe is what they're saying. Dykes came away with the football for Notre Dame, but they're going to rule Ellis had a catch and was down. Boston College keeps it. It'll be a 24-yard gain.
Boy, this is another tight throw by St. Pierre. I mean, you're down 28-18. You've got to make some of those plays. Yeah, that's good call. Very good call. Great concentration by Ellis. 5
catches, 94 yards now for the tight end, a senior from Baytown, Texas. Way to the 20-yard line.
In and out of the huddle. Again, 6:18 remaining in the ball game. You trail by 3 scores. They're still going back in the huddle. I mean, I really think there needs to be more urgency. You need 3 scores. You're thinking touchdown, 2-point play to make it a 10-point game.
When they took over the football, there were 9 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock.
It just seems like they're spending a lot of time in the huddle under this circumstance.
They're down 28-10. Notre Dame blitz. Boston College picks it up. And they get the touchdown to DeWalt.
Should go for 2, I think, here. Wouldn't they go for 2 to make it a 10-point game?
20-yard touchdown to Dedrick DeWalt from St. Pierre. He beat Brock Williams for the score.
Well, yeah, again, Brian St. Pierre, we said, hey, he's technically a backup. But this guy's played in all 9 games, and he's played beautifully today. That's a major league throw. Good route by DeWalt, screening him as defensive back on the post. And they should go for 2. They're 0 for 1 on 2-point plays this year. But this is a big 2-point play. I mean, if they make it, they're down by 10.
Empty backfield with a man in motion, Washington. St. Pierre fires the slant intended for Reed behind him and too hard. And the 2-point attempt is no good.
That's significant. That makes it a 3-score game for Notre Dame.
Boston College, 10 plays, 94 yards, but they used nearly 4 minutes to do it. Brian St. Pierre has driven Boston College to a score, making it 28-16. And Scortino ready to kick off for the Eagles.
With 5:40 left, I think they're probably going to kick it and try to play defense.
Instead of the onside kick. It's a squib. Gibbons tracks it down at the 5. Trying to get across the field. Picking up blockers. Breaking one tackle. And they never did get him down, but he's out of bounds. Notre Dame will take over, leading Boston College 28-16 with 5:24 left. Final home game for the Notre Dame seniors, and one of those is Joe Resendez. There he is there. He is a walk-on tight end. In spring practice, he had advanced to the point where he was making a real contribution to Notre Dame. Then one day he was jogging and felt some pain. He visited the doctor and he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. He went to surgery. He had radiation treatments. He never told his teammates, the coaches knew, but he endured it all. But football was the thing that drove him as Lovecchio rolls and will keep. And Lovecchio slides to a first down. Resendez continued to be driven by his love for football. And while he was taking radiation treatments, while he was going through all the agony that causes, he wondered about could he still run onto the field at Notre Dame. He just progressed to the point where he was making a contribution and had a chance to really play a lot. Well, he didn't get to play much this season, only a couple of minutes against Navy. But his courage in overcoming testicular cancer, his latest tests say he is cancer-free, has been an inspiration to his teammates now that know, to his coaches all along. So much so that Bob Davie awarded him a scholarship for this semester. He is now on scholarship at Notre Dame, fulfilling a lifelong dream. But his inspirational battle in overcoming cancer is going to leave a lasting legacy, much more than his playing contributions here at Notre Dame. Joe Resendez, his dad, mortgaged the house, sold his house so that he could come to Notre Dame. That's how much his family loved it. And his battle with cancer, his overcoming cancer, has been really an inspiration to all those who have found the story, and it's just broken in the last few days.
Quite a story. And Bob Davie was talked to us yesterday, quite emotional about it. He said, I gave him the scholarship because of his football contributions. You know, I really appreciate what he overcame off the field, but his football contributions were significant.
Fisher, close to another Notre Dame first down.
Yeah, you know, one thing about Matt Lovecchio I really like is the way he manages the game. We've talked about him being 18 years old. Just a few weeks ago, he was impersonating Eric Crouch. He was the scout team quarterback when they played Nebraska. And he was running the option against the first team defense, in a series of events leads him to the starting quarterback position. But he, for a young man, 18 years old, boy, he manages things. When I'm talking about the clock, getting in and out of the huddle. You know, knowing when to get rid of the ball, avoid the sacks.
And in fact, Bob Davie saying he's wise beyond his years. He said an interesting thing too. He has some other good freshman quarterbacks. Yeah. Jared Clark and Carlisle Holiday, and of course Arnez Battle, the starter, injured and out for the season, will be back. He has a wealth of talent, it would appear, at quarterback. And one interesting thing, been reading a lot of speculation that Arnez Battle maybe will switch to wide receiver, something like that. Bob Davie told us that if all four were healthy, Arnez Battle would be the starter.
That's what he said. Although Matt Lovecchio, he's going to, if he wins today, 5 straight games he started, 5 wins.
Certainly cannot argue with his performance and his results. Fumbled, but I think he recovered his own fumble. Let's see.
Ordway, number 28, I think kind of knocked it. Looks number 28 up here at the top of the screen. This guy just flies around, throws his body everywhere. And I think it may have been Ordway who knocked it loose. Yeah, it sure was. Sure was.
Fisher manages to get back on it. And Tony Fisher approaching 200 yards rushing. He has 192. And with just over 3 minutes left, he's going to get a couple more opportunities, one would think.
And Lavecchio knows he's got 15 seconds or 10 seconds now on the game clock. He's just going to wait and wait and wait. Use as much of that clock as he can.
Fisher again. Only got a couple, but will pick up a first down. And keeping the clock rolling as the Irish look to avenge that loss to BC here last year and keep their hopes alive of making a BCS bowl.
And for Boston College, you know, second straight winning season for Tom O'Brien. Got a tough, they have 2 weeks before they play Miami, but it's another tough opponent, a top 5 team.
But as you said, the second straight winning season, if they should make it to another bowl, and they are bowl eligible, right, that would be quite a milestone too. 2 straight years to keep it going in the proper direction for Coach O'Brien.
Absolutely, and he's really talking about building a program. We've talked about some of the guys he's recruited, you know, St. Pierre and William Green, guys that could have gone anywhere. And he's got a program. 4 years ago, he took over a program that really was in shambles after that awful, you know, betting gambling scandal, and has really got this program on the right track.
And what about this? Tony Fisher with that last carry has gone to 200 yards even. Tony Fisher, 23 carries, 200 yards for the Irish today. The junior from Euclid, Ohio, the former Ohio Mr. Football. Here he is again, and he may be back under 200 after that one. He's back to 199 thanks to Sean Ryan.
And Boston College will use one of their 3 timeouts.
Eagles take a timeout, stopping the clock at 1:36, but Notre Dame up 28-16. Back at Notre Dame, today's Chevrolet players of the game. Robert Ellis, the tight end from Boston College, who had 5 catches for 93 yards. And Tony Fisher from Notre Dame, who is 199 yards rushing now after losing one on the last play. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. The Chevrolet Scholarship Program has been a tradition for 30 years.
Not a spectacular Irish team or win today, but again, it did some good things, particularly on special teams.
And Nick Setta, who not only was the place kicker today, but also the punter, and scored a touchdown on a fake. And a game to remember.
197.
We got Fisher in reverse now.
197. Talking about the special teams, let's have a look at some of the things they did today. Really a spectacular day. Successful fake punt, successful fake field goal, scored a touchdown, punt down from the BC 6-yard line, stopped the 2-point conversion. Really had some good coverage, so that's pretty good football.
And I believe Joe Resendez is into the game. No, not yet. It's
Chris Ura just came in. I see is the punt. Yeah, he's a. That's Setta. Yeah,
it's Setta. There are 2 13s, yep, and Setta is one of them, and Resendez is the other.
You think that's a number of people would not want, and Notre Dame has 2 of them.
We talked to Setta earlier this season. He relished it, didn't
he? He did.
There's Resendez.
George Clooney lookalike.
Yeah. Happy story. And
it sure is.
The walk-ons at Notre Dame, what a tradition. If you've seen the movie Rudy, you get an idea of what it's all about.
Yep.
There's
Mike Zelinka.
His classmates in the dorm in which he used to live wrote a letter to Coach Davey asking if he could please play. And it's that kind of support and that kind of love for Notre Dame football that is probably unique.
Yeah, he's one of those, one of the dorms. They all wrote, it must have been 20 signatures. Yeah. And he didn't know about it. Mike didn't know about it. But they're saying, hey, it's his last home game, last chance to get in. And
well, he didn't get in the game, but he got on TV, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Keogh Hall here at South Bend.
Sings at Mass, they say, still, even though he's living off campus. He goes back to his dorm. And Boston College with 1:20 on the clock. Brian St. Pierre, the sophomore quarterback in his second career start, getting some experience under fire at Notre Dame, completes the screen pass to Cedric Washington.
Guess who made the tackle? Who's the screen stopper?
Rocky Boyman?
Lance Legree.
Oh, Lance Legree. That's right. Tom O'Brien.
Said that. Yeah.
All the coaches at Boston College actually said, well, we don't run many screens against them because we've watched on film, and Lance Legree is the
he was
screen stopper. You're right. I flunked that quiz. But
he's right down in here, but he's stopping screens.
St. Pierre's pass caught over the shoulder by Washington in the flats. And hit out of bounds apparently draws a flag from Jason Beckstrom.
Yeah, Cedric Washington's a good receiver.
Dead ball, late hit. Got it.
So the personal foul will be assessed the Irish with 43 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, Cedric Washington's just trying to get out of bounds. Really kind of a stupid play by Jason Beckstrom. But
clearly out of bounds and clearly not intending to turn upfield or anything.
Dead ball. Personal foul.
He knows it.
Beckstrom says my fault.
Yep.
15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, this has been Beckstrom's best game, though, as a cover guy. Bob Davie survived a tough 4-game early part of the schedule. St. Pierre downfield. Oh, Ron Israel got it.
Intercepted by Israel. And that'll put the clincher on it for Notre Dame as Israel picks off the St. Pierre pass. Second interception of the day for the Irish.
Now, this would be a great time to put some of those walk-ons on if you could, if you're thinking about it. You know, some coaches have so many things going through their headsets and their mind, but you'd love to see some of those walk-ons get a chance.
Finally a smile from Coach Davie.
Not screaming at any ref, any official.
And our thanks to Elliot Kalb on stats today, Mike Hunniford and Steve Lemon, our spotters. And Jim Bell, John Gonzalez and company in the truck.
Yeah, thanks for a great year, everybody. Favorite play if you're a Notre Dame fan?
Take a knee. And the celebration will soon begin in earnest.
Well, interesting to see what Notre Dame will do to try to protect the turf.
So Tom O'Brien walks out to meet his Irish counterpart Bob Davie as the only two Catholic schools in America playing Division 1A football meet again. And the Irish will win it by a count of 28-16. And Notre Dame goes